Nintendo has been publishing video games since the medium's beginnings in arcades in the early 1980s, and over the decades have created some truly memorable characters, games, and franchises. However, there are lots of games that even their most hardcore fans haven't played. Spanning Nintendo's history from NES to Nintendo Switch, these games may be some fans' favorite Nintendo games. Other Nintendo fans, sadly, have likely not paid them their fair due, despite some of them being hidden gems in plain sight. Welcome to Game Rant, everyone. My name is Geoffrey. In today's video, let's discuss 10 underrated Nintendo games that you need to play. Number 10, Earthbound Beginnings. Earthbound is a niche title in Nintendo's library, mostly known by the casual fan for the inclusion of Ness in Super Smash Bros. Its Japan-exclusive sequel, Mother 3, has also eluded a Western release and has become the subject of meme culture. However, few Nintendo fans pay any respect to their very first title in the Mother RPG franchise. Debuting on the NES in 1989, simply titled Mother, this game laid the groundwork for Earthbound and many future RPG franchises after it. It's available on Nintendo Switch Online under the title Earthbound Beginnings, after being Japan exclusive for many years, but it certainly deserves the attention of both Nintendo fans and RPG fanatics. Number 9, Secret of Evermore. Although the SNES's Secret of Mana, which was released in 1993, is notably one of the most critically acclaimed RPGs on the platform, Square followed it up 2 years later with the underrated Secret of Evermore. The two games don't take place in the same universe, but many fans passed up the opportunity to play this game since it wasn't released in Japan. For fans of Secret of Mana, Secret of Evermore contains a lot of the same aspects that make the original SNES RPG so fun, namely a real-time battle system, multiple playable characters, and great art design. However, its in-game world involves players traveling through different realms that are actually based on different time periods, such as the Middle Ages or prehistoric times. Number 8, Donkey Kong 64. Although Donkey Kong 64 is the origin of the now infamous DK rap, lots of Nintendo fans haven't played the first 3D platformer in the Donkey Kong franchise. For most fans, the Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country Returns games showed that Mario's first antagonist has always been meant to be playable as a 2D platformer. Nevertheless, Donkey Kong 64 has Rareware behind it, the studio that of course made Banjo-Kazooie and the sort of famous / infamous Conker's Bad Fur Day, depending on how you look at it. Though some aspects have aged since it was released way over 20 years ago, Donkey Kong 64 remains a solid 3D platformer that'll feel fresh for fans of the genre, though it has yet to be added to Nintendo's Virtual Console library or online service, hopefully one day. Number 7, Drill Dozer. When it was first released on Game Boy Advance in 2005, Drill Dozer seemed like a promising new IP for Nintendo. The platformer places players in the shoes of Jill, who must operate her drill dozer to conquer levels and bosses. The character of Jill even cameoed as an assist trophy in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which was released in 2007 in Japan. Sadly, Drill Dozer hasn't received any future installments despite positive reviews among other Game Boy Advance titles. Hopefully, if Nintendo one day adds it to their Nintendo Switch Online catalog, modern-day video game fans will give this title the attention it rightfully deserves all the way back in 2005. Number 6, Wario World. Although the microgame-focused WarioWare franchise has kept Mario's nemesis relevant in the video game world, few know about his 3D platformer on GameCube. Wario World was released in 2003, following Wario on an adventure to recover stolen treasure. The gameplay, however, is vastly different than Super Mario Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion, both from the GameCube. Particularly, Wario gets to use his iconic shoulder bash move in Wario World, which originated in Wario Land Super Mario Land 3 for the Game Boy. Although some critics felt the game was too short, that just makes it the perfect length for Nintendo fans who are curious to see how Wario fared in the realm of 3D platforming. Number 5, Kirby's Epic Yarn. The Kirby franchise has often turned hardcore video game fans away due to being too easy and kid-friendly. That's especially true of Kirby's Epic Yarn, a Nintendo Wii title that ups the easiness by featuring no way for players to actually die or lose their lives. However, this is what makes the game so enjoyable. It's a breezy romp through a yarn aesthetic world, and it's utterly charming. Furthermore, the game is as fun as it gets for a Nintendo game, allowing Kirby to take on many yarn-like forms as he progresses through the game. It even has the capability for a second player who takes on the role of the just as cute Prince Fluff, and come on, that's a great name. Overall, Kirby's epic yarn might be too easy, but who says video games can't also just be a walk in the park? Not everything has to be Dark Souls, am I right? Number 4, The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. If, like me, you aren't actually a fan of the critically praised and adored Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but instead prefer the earlier, dare I say better, more refined glory days of the Legend of Zelda series, then please do consider checking out the highly underrated Spirit Tracks. The Nintendo DS title was released in 2009 and offers one of the most unique stories in the Zelda series. After Princess Zelda's body is taken by the evil demon Malladus, Link must team up with her spirit embodying the armor of a phantom. Though the game, like any Zelda title, had a lot of anticipation prior to its release, it hasn't had as timeless of an impact as other titles, such as Wind Waker or Ocarina of Time. Still, it's a fun, unique 3D adventure, sort of, it based on the 2D games that you played back in the day, and it all takes place in the land of Hyrule, and even inspired a Super Smash Bros. For 3DS stage based on the Spirit Train that players ride in the game. Number 3, Xenoblade Chronicles X. The popularity of the Xenoblade franchise has exponentially grown in recent years thanks to Shulk's inclusion in Super Smash Bros. And Nintendo's support of new titles. However, the Wii U open-world RPG Xenoblade Chronicles X sadly passed under the radar for many casual Nintendo fans. For those who haven't played it, it's certainly worth a try. What makes Xenoblade Chronicles X unique to the franchise, aside from its great story and writing, is the characters who get to operate giant mechs that allow them to quickly navigate the large open world. Simply put, Xenoblade Chronicles X is a diamond just waiting to be discovered. Number 2, Kid Icarus Uprising. For those who have played Kid Icarus Uprising, they know all too well that it's one of the best titles actually on the Nintendo 3DS. Directed by Super Smash Bros. Creator Masahiro Sakurai, Kid Icarus Uprising translates the Greek mythology-inspired NES title to a 3D rail shooter in the vein of something like Star Fox. But its difficult control scheme turned a lot of potential fans off. Following rumors that the game may be ported to the Switch one day, it'd be a perfect chance for those who didn't give it a fair shot in 2013 to try again. The game has the potential for a strong online community with its Versus mode, as well as a large fanbase that can grow attached to its lovable and charismatic cartoon-like characters. Number 1, ARMS. Released back at the start of the Nintendo Switch's life cycle in 2017, ARMS was an early original IP for the Nintendo Switch. In the game, players control a boxer with long spring-like cartoon arms battling in a 3D ring. The game sold incredibly well and even got its own character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with Min Min, but failed to catch on the way something like Splatoon did on the Wii U. However, with more support for an online community, ARMS could have the potential to be Nintendo's biggest fighting game franchise, of course, after Super Smash Bros. Perhaps at some point Nintendo will put enough faith in the series to make an ARMS 2, this time with even more characters and appeal to fans who didn't check it out the first time around. And there we have it, 10 truly fantastic, underrated Nintendo games that you should consider playing when you get the chance. Thank you for checking out this video from Game Rant. Have a truly wonderful and happy day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.